All right, Shalom, Shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to our elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutations to those that are doing this work in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Nathan Yala from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson. And I pray and hope this lesson is edifying. And so, according to this video that I just came across, there is a real live notion for Trump to ban interracial marriages. And what he's attempting to do is put it into the states. So he's really trying to separate white America from black America. All right. That MAWA, Make America White Again. All right. So you have a lot of people that are, kind of disgruntled about it. And then what they're saying is that, you have a lot of you're going to have a lot of so-called white people. They're going to leave their established children and spouses for white supremacy, which I agree. They're going to go back to that old hateful spirit that they were once in, and also too, in order for you, the children to inherit the land, they have to come from the seed of their fathers, as the scriptures say, because it's all about the seed line. All right. So this is Numbers 1:18, and it says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. They declared their pedigrees after their families by the houses of their fathers, according to the number of their names, from 20 years on old and upward by their polls. All right. So Esau Edom understands that your children are of the father, not of the mother. All right. So he's making it to where his women and the men, because you also have a lot, they don't say this, but you have a lot of so-called white men that are dipping in the chocolate. Okay. And they're having biracial babies, and they want a pure seed line of so-called white people. All right. Now we do know that you are the seed of your father. So, a so-called white man can get with a so-called black woman, and that child is going to be an Edomite, even though they have some features of a so-called black man, right? But Esau is so stupid and ignorant that he don't really care about that. He wants the purity of what the illusion of purity of whiteness. But all in all, this move is going to cause a level of rebellion, in the United States, because you're going to have a lot of people that are going to fight back against this, because they're going to say, wait a minute, we want to be able to marry who we want to marry. And another thing, too, that's happening is Esau's women. Esau's women are going for Jake men, like in droves. All right. So that's another thing that he's trying to nip in the bud. They're starting to see, the world is starting to see this whiteness, that this frail so-called white man, this brute beast is not where it's at. So you're having a lot of women that are walking away from the pale male. OK. And, that goes into Deuteronomy 30:7, where the Lord says, I'm going to put all these curses upon their enemies and upon your enemies and those that hate thee and persecute thee. And one of the things that, one of the curses is that our women would hate the men. And that's exactly what's happening right now with the so-called black man, is the woman, her eye is evil toward her man. This is why, you can sit here and act like you can get along with the so-called black woman all you want. You can't. Her eye is evil toward her man. So you can't get along with her. Well, that same thing is happening to the so-called white man right now. Her eyes are going to be evil, are becoming evil toward him, because they're seeing all the shit that they're doing. They're seeing the so-called white man destroy the earth. They're seeing the so-called white man destroy their families and their children and destroy their economy. They're seeing all this shit, and it is their men that are in power that are doing this shit. So they're looking at this shit like, wait a minute, you're going a little bit too far. Okay. So I'm going to play some of this video, right? And you can see black and whites react to Republicans ending interracial marriage. I'm going to start back a little bit, and I'm going to speed it up, for the sake of, and, they invoke the copyright disclaimer. I'm not profiting off of this in any way, form, or fashion. I'm using this for educational purpose only. Fair use has been declared.
Interracial marriage rights up to this. Come on. So my fellow white ladies who are in interracial marriages, interracial relationships, who haven't said a single thing about this Republican Party, it's time to start yapping, because your marriage, the sanctity of your marriage, is now being questioned by the GOP.
I see these white women gonna fight tooth and nail for that BBC, okay? Because they man ain't got it, so they want that BBC. You know what I'm saying? They've been getting it for years. They don't want to let that shit go. As a matter of fact, they want more of it, and they want more freedom to choose it. And you can see right here.
I think that's fucking crazy. I will move to Mars to marry my man before I will let anybody tell me that I can't because our skin looks a little bit different. Fuck you.
So you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the question of interracial marriage to the states?
Yes, I think that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical.
That was Indiana Governor Mike Braun, and he was a Republican senator for the state at the time. The Supreme Court case he's talking about, Loving v. Virginia, was decided in the 1960s, and it basically says that states cannot ban interracial marriage. He's saying that was federal overreach, and the states should get to decide. But as we have seen in the past, when Republicans say leave it to the states, what they really mean is they want the states to be free to ban it.
This is for other white people, so y'all aren't fucking surprised when this happens. When they come for interracial marriage, I'm telling you, there's going to be a whole lot of fucking white people that walk away from their partners and from their kids. You will see white partners in these marriages choose white supremacy over their own partners and children.
On fast track for interracial marriages to be null and void too. Because if there's one thing that we do know for sure, is that Donald Trump hates, and I mean fucking hates, Black people. So if you are a Black person and you are in an interracial relationship in marriage, I need you to keep your eyes peeled, because this is definitely going to affect you. It's going to happen. You can mark my words. You can say I'm fear mongering right now, but I want you to go ahead and come back to this page and watch my video again when you hear this shit is happening, because the ultimate goal for Donald Trump is to get rid of everybody who is not white. The senator of Indiana.
Right, MAWA. And now you can, as you watch this video, you're going to see it's mostly Caucasian women that are on here professing this, because again, you know what they want.
Senator Mike Braun just said that interracial marriage should be a decision that's taken over by the states. Remember what happened when they did that with abortion, and now it's illegal in a bunch of states? That's what they're going to try to do. And after interracial marriage, not even after, maybe at the same time, they will be coming for gay marriage next.
Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to Desi.
All right, so you have a quick precept. Go to the book of Ezekiel, because this all stems from the hatred that, let me see if I'm recording. Okay. I'm good. This all stems from the hatred that he has, and that's all Trump is doing, is stirring up that old hatred that they once had. He's bringing it back to the surface. Okay. He's becoming that old devil that he once was. Okay. This is Ezekiel 35:5. It says, as a matter of fact, let's start off at verse 3. It says, verse 2, and it says, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. And I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and shed the blood. See, let's look at this word perpetual. Okay, because perpetual means never ending, like perpetual energy. Okay. It'll let me grab it. All right. Perpetual describes something that is continuous, unending, lasts for infinity, a long time, infinitely, a long time, such as a perpetual stream of visitors, a stream of visitors, or perpetual motion machine. Okay. So we know that the word perpetual means never ending or changing. So it's unchanging. All right. So these people have had a perpetual hatred against Jake, the so-called black man, the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, the Native Americans. Okay. And after Jim Crow and, integration, right, things didn't go quite the way Esau thought they were going to go. It gave him enough to where he can, develop systems to control everybody, but he also lost control over, his women. Okay. and how they were able to choose the type of man that they wanted to be with. And a lot of them ain't choosing these damn rich CEOs anymore. Okay. And that's another reason why he wants control over this, because he doesn't want his women to reproduce with Jake, and he doesn't want his men to reproduce with Jake. And if the men do reproduce, them kids probably gonna go into slavery or something like that, because they're not going to be looked at as an actual person. All right. So it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had come to an end. And, so this is all stemmed from hatred. Now, because he has this hatred, right? What's going to happen is it's going to cause even more of a divide in America, because you have a lot of people who are, what they call mixed, even though there's no such thing as mixing. So a lot of families that are already established, through what they would call interracial marriages and things of that nature, they already have established families for generations, and now this comes about saying that, hold on one second. So this is going to cause even a more of a division, because you're going to have all of these people who have pre-established relationship, and you have some of these white people that genuinely love their children that came from in between their legs. So they're not going to just say, oh well, we're going to give up our children and our family and all of our established lives. They're not going to do that. Okay, so you got to have a lot of them that's going to buck up against the system. All right. And it's going to be more so the white women than the men. You're going to have a lot of men that's going to go back into that old Confederate spirit. Right. But a lot of these women, they're going to be on that. We want our BBC. OK. All right. So we're going to play a little bit more of that. But I'm going to go to the book of Isaiah 19. This is Isaiah 19:2. It says, I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they will fight everyone against his neighbor, against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And those are going to be these states fighting over these things, fighting over. And you're going to get a lot of people that's going to say, hey, let's move to this state, or hey, let's move to that state, because they're going to offer some of the benefits that Trump is about to take away. Okay. So you're going to get that. All right. You're going to get all of these different states. They're going to be like, okay, these are just like abortions. Because, as she said in the video, she said, one of the things that the states do when the federal government do when they want to ban something, they say leave it into the hands of the states. Like, look at what happened with abortion. You have a lot of states that made abortion illegal. So it's going to be the same thing with this. You're going to have a lot of states is going to say yes, and a lot of states is going to say no. Okay, because you still have these good old boy states who don't believe it, especially all these damn states with these sundown towns. Okay, and it says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. So all of this shit that's going on, eventually there's going to be a big collapse. Okay. And everything is just going to fall apart completely. All right. And I will destroy the counsel thereof. So the Lord is already doing that. We're already seeing that Esau is losing his counselship. Okay. All of his wizards and soothsayers and think tanks, none of that shit is working anymore, because even though all of this stuff is prophecy, it doesn't look like Esau is making very wise decisions in the moves that he's making. Everything is blatant and out in the open, and everybody sees it. And he's just like, F it, I'm just going to do it. All right. And it says, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to the familiar spirits and to the wizards. Okay, so they're gonna go to all, and none of that. This is all the shit that they've been doing on the left hand side. None of that stuff is gonna help them. Okay, they're making off the cuff decisions right now, and it shows, because none of this stuff is as calculated as you may think. All right, and people are going to buck up against it. Now, of course, he wants the chaos because, you know, the order out of chaos type thing, but it's not going to go the way that he expected. The scriptures say in the book of Job, in the fullness of his efficiency, he should be in straits. Every hand of the wicked should come upon him. And that's exactly what's about to happen. Okay. When all of these things start to collapse, and they're going to collapse. All right. And it says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. And that's Donald Trump. Okay. He's the cruel Lord. He's the one that's like, look, he got the concentration camps. He's deporting whole entire neighborhoods of so-called Hispanics and Latinos, just getting them up out of here. Nobody knows where they're going. Some of them are going to the alligator Alcatraz. Some of them are getting on planes. We don't know exactly where they're going, and they're completely disconnected from their families. How long do you think that's going to go on before people say, you know what, enough is fucking enough? Now, even though most of these Americans here are cowards and they can use their guns to go into black neighborhoods and do whatever, eventually they're going to say, you know what, we're going to have to stand up to our government. And that's exactly what we're talking about right now. These Egyptians are going to, you know, or so-called Americans, they're going to fight against one another. All right. And it's going to be because of this cruel Lord right here who's passing all of these unrighteous decrees that's making it very uncomfortable for the people to live. Okay. And it says, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. You see that? So Donald Trump is that fierce, cruel Lord. All right. This dude don't give a hell about nothing. You know, the economy collapsing and people complaining. The cop right here. All right, they just got to deal with it. You know, rich getting richer, poor getting poor. I mean, he don't care. He don't care two shits about this stuff. But what he does care is about making America white again. And in order to do that, there's certain things that need to go into place to make America white again. And he can't have his women going off marrying Jake men. Okay, he can't have that. So he has to put an end to it, and that's what's happening right now. Trump is putting an end to the interracial marriages with the Jake men. He don't want Jake with white women anymore. Okay.
Episode. Let's talk about this particular topic. They are trying their best level to take away interracial marriages because when you try to hear very well this congressman, Republican, the way he explained each and everything, they are trying to give each state the right to decide to give interracial couples the right to marry or not. It will be up to them to each and every state. Now you see, people has been there saying they are trying their best level to bring segregation. They are trying to do something which is
and segregation and all that shit is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Okay. The only thing is that you need land. So if you're segregated and you're segregated into your own land, that's a good thing because you can establish yourself. All right. But and that's what the Lord wants. The Lord scattered us among the nations so we can be oppressed. OK, now get that. This is Baruch 4:6. It says, "You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved Yahweh to wrath. You were delivered unto the enemies." You see that? So the Lord scattered us among the nations because they were our enemies. Okay. The nations were our enemies. So you wonder why we get treated the way we get treated. We're behind enemy lines, man. We're behind enemy lines. So you're integrated with these people. You're integrated with your enemies that have more rights, more claim to things than you do by far, right? And now the Lord is saying, you know what? Let's separate this thing. So of course, this is going to trigger off Jacob's trouble. This is going to, trigger a lot of things. This is just a whole bunch of. This is just another ingredient placed in that big stew pot that's going to cause this collapse. Okay, that's going to cause everything to go to hell, hell in a handbasket. All right. So Yahweh Shem Yahushai, hey, he sold us to our enemies to learn a lesson. Okay, and the lesson was, hey, obey Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. So let's continue on with the video.
To affect the most black people. Now see what is really happening.
I don't know how true this is, but I see that the state of Indiana is trying to get rid of interracial marriage. And I just want to say that if that's true, guys, some of us are in trouble. Like, we have so much more important things going on in the world, from grocery prices to gas prices to education. And what we're focused on in America is...
No, you see that? She said gas prices, food prices, education. We have so much going on in America. No, this is just another thing that they want to attack, man. They don't want people like you integrating with people like them. Okay? Why do you think they have their own little white town that they created, right? Why do you think they have sundown towns? Why do you think they have all these things? Because they don't want us around them. And as Trump stays in the office, he's stirring up that old Confederate spirit.
Is interracial marriage? Interracial marriage, that's what we're working on right now? Guys, America is literally a joke right now. Trying to stop people from loving each other. Wow. That's literally
MAWA, make America white again. That's what he's trying to do.
Rooted in so much hate, guys. I need America to get it together. We have way more important issues at hand. If you still support Swirl Love, hit that follow button. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments.
Okay, before I get into this, so I'm speaking from the perspective as a white man in an interracial marriage. And this is for other white people, so y'all aren't fucking surprised when
You see, now you're gonna be one of the ones that's gonna look at your white wife and your so-called, your so-called black wife and your so-called black children, right? And you want that old MAWA Confederate spirit gonna come over when you look like that type that you're gonna do that shit.
this happens, when, not if, when they come for interracial marriage, I'm telling you, there's going to be a whole lot of fucking white people that walk away from their partners and from their kids. There's going to be some of you white people right now that are like, oh my God, no way, that would never happen. You're just fear mongering, or you're just...
Right, and he one of them. He one of them.
This isn't that. No, listen, I've made a video about interracial marriage before, and the amount of comments that I've gotten from people about their white partners who are completely not in touch with politics or not political are a lot. You will see white partners in these marriages choose white supremacy over their own partners and children. I promise you. Because mind you, these white people have partners and children that look like the people that are being snatched by ICE. They're watching Trump on down talk about their partners being DEI hires at work. Doesn't move them. They don't give a fuck. These same partners, white partners, tokenize their spouse at every turn. So I can't be racist. I have a black, indigenous spouse of color. Y'all see it on here all the time. But when the pressure hits and it's building, white people fucking fold to white supremacy all the goddamn time. That's what's happening right now on a national scale. And we're seeing it. We got concentration camps in America. We got the National Guard in LA and DC. We got ICE is snatching up kids, families, deporting. Doesn't matter if they're fucking citizens or not. And white people aren't moved to do shit.
Exactly. So that just goes to show you that old hateful spirit is going to come back. It's already here. That old hateful spirit is going to come back very strong. So what he's saying is very, very true. But see, here's the caveat. it's all being blown out for the world to see. Okay. It's not swept under the rug like it used to be. It's not shrouded in secrecy. Okay. So the world is going to, in real time, see how these people actually are. All right. Their true nature. This is the book of Jeremiah 49:7. And it says, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is the counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? You know, because they're making stupid ass decisions. You know, they're doing things that on the surface is like, what the hell are they doing? But really, what they're doing is they're showing their hand. They're showing they're not only are they showing what they have, their history. They're showing that they never turned from who they truly were. Okay, that the wicked is still the wicked, and they're going to be the wicked, and now they're just showing their true colors to the world. All right. It says, flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan. I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. You see that? So the Lord is saying that as he's visiting Esau, he's going to bring calamity upon him. All right. And all of these things are being used as a tool to reveal who this devil's nature, what he really doing, what he's trying to do. You see? Okay. So I'm going to play a little bit more and we're going to get ready to wrap it up after this.
So you think when they come down and they try to attack interracial marriage, it's going to move white people? Absolutely the fuck not. JD Vance, I wouldn't be surprised if he set the standard and said, I'm leaving my wife for X, Y, and Z reason. He'll make some bullshit up. And other white Americans will be like, oh yeah, he did it. All right. Yep. Then it's safe for me to walk away. When you as a white person can be in an interracial marriage and you see the way the entire country is treating people that look just like your children or your partner, and you just say, I'm not political, or we don't talk about that in my house, you're fucking going to when the government comes for your shit. Well, you're probably not, because you're going to be too scared to say anything or do anything, because you're just going to be scared of violence from other white people for being in an interracial marriage. White
and that's
people
exactly
as
right.
a whole value white supremacy more than anything in their fucking life. 3 out of 5 white men voted for Trump. 1 out of 2 white women voted for Trump. And everything that's happening right now is what they want. And other white people that don't have a fucking spine, or other white people that don't view their partners as human beings, that don't see their children, their biracial children, as human beings, they'll walk the fuck away. I'm calling it right now.
The senator of Indiana, Senator Mike Braun.
All right. So you see that, and that right there is Esau. Okay, so I'm going to grab one more scripture and I'm going to close out on this. Because all this is just a shame. This is just shamefulness is what it is. Okay. So this is Habakkuk 2. It says, this is Habakkuk 2:16. It says, for thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also and let thy foreskin be uncovered. See, all of these things that he's doing is a trap that's going to fall right back on his head. Okay. The Lord's cup, the cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee. And that's happening right now. You're seeing the cup of the Lord's right hand being shoved into this man's face. And shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. All this shit is shameful. This is the shameful spewing on the glory of Esau, Edom, showing you and showing the world exactly what he's truly made of. All right. And it says, for the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, the spoil of the beast, which made them afraid because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city and all that dwell therein. You see that? And that's exactly. Because this dude is a violent man. So he's going to bust in people's homes and forcefully rip interracial children. And if you're a so-called white woman and you're trying to stand by and protect your children, like he said, hey, man, you can be like white supremacy because you're going to be scared. You know? You're going to be scared. So, hey, this devil Trump is really moving to make America white again, MAWA. Right. He's really moving. He's pushing to make that move. All right. and and His glory is being revealed to the world. So with that, I'm in this off by giving all praise, going honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Chafadash. Until next time, I say Shalom.